If you have ever watched my show, you have heard by now I am a baby oil specialist. Buy this for your guy, lady.
This is Sean Combs' connection to Steve Harvey. Everyone on the internet are making, quote, Steve Harvey and the diddler jokes. That's not me making the joke, that's the internet making that joke. Others say...
So now the story is that Steve Harvey and Diddy have been in a relationship.
Steve Harvey is attempting to silence me right now. Everyone's got to look up Steve Harvey baby oil since he clearly doesn't want people looking that up. So Steve Harvey was facing a lot of criticism for being involved with Diddy and because he's weirdly obsessed with baby oil.
Steve Harvey really can't catch a break. What do you mean? He also swings the other way, and his old family knows all about it? His oldest daughter, Brandy Harvey, just shook the internet up after she dropped a major bomb about what he has been getting up to behind the scenes. This comes after Steve was slammed for being DL and indulging in wild freak-offs at Diddy's parties. Now, even though this tea really ain't new, the last person anyone was expecting to also slam him was his own family, or ex-family. Brandy has been working overtime to stay out of his way, especially since he literally abandoned her and her twin sister when they were kids to go be with Marjorie. Brandy even went off on Steve at one point, claiming that he treats his stepdaughter Lori better than he treats his own biological kids. Now, for those of y'all who are somehow not caught up with the dynamic between Steve and his biological kids, baby, you'll be so gagged when you find out the details of what he put her and their mama through once he got rich and became a regular attendee of those industry parties. Okay, so prior to Steve getting with Marjorie, he had a whole other family with his ex-wife, Marcia Harvey. They had 3 kids together, their twin daughters, Brandy and Carly, and their son, Broderick Harvey Jr. Now, just 3 years after they had Broderick, Steve left Marcia and got into another relationship with his now second ex-wife, Mary Shackelford. Once again, he had a son with her called Wynton Harvey. He later divorced her in 2005, and by 2007, he got with Marjorie and adopted her 3 children from a previous relationship. Now, you'd think that since he had 4 biological kids of his own, he would actually prioritize them, especially since at the time he had them, he was broke. But baby, they claim Steve didn't care about them at all. In fact, he straight up abandoned them at some point to start a whole new family with Marjorie and her kids that weren't even his. You can't make this up. And before y'all come at me, no one is saying he shouldn't have claimed Marjorie's kids. However, he also had no business abandoning his. No shade. You see, when Steve was still with Brandy's mama, Marcia, he was working as an insurance salesman, but he decided to quit and go into comedy full-time after winning a $50 first-place prize at a comedy show. Steve tried to justify his decision to abandon his family for his career, claiming that he did it to give them a better life. During an interview with People magazine, he said, "I'm married, I have twins, I'm supposed to provide for them, but I had to take this chance. Years later, they said to me, 'Dad, we didn't understand why you left us, but we know now you had to go. You didn't just belong to us, you belonged to the world.'" That was emotional for me. Can y'all imagine what Brandy must have gone through? One minute they have their dad, and the next minute he abandons them and their mom to go chase his career. And even when he made it, he left their mom to go enjoy his riches with another woman. And it's not as if he was giving them any attention. I mean, there's a reason they felt abandoned. Brandy actually admitted recently that she had to learn how to just suck her emotions up, because after Steve left, she and her siblings saw this mama go through a really hard time to take care of them.
I grew up and I saw a mother's sacrifice.
Yes.
And because of that sacrifice, I learned very early that no one is coming to save you. So you better know how to put on your cape and make it happen for yourself.
But here's where things took a turn for the worse. It turns out that after Diddy's shenanigans were put on blast, Steve was exposed for his alleged involvement in what Diddy was doing. And there were some whispers in the Harvey family about Steve enjoying the company of same-gender, mostly young smookskins, being a DL homosexual. Word in the street is that the reason his marriage with his 2 previous wives failed is because when he first entered the industry, he got swayed by the things he saw, some of which we now know to be freak-off parties. Now, no one is saying for sure that Steve was slanging his wood. However, people just can't help but wonder if he got carried away by that life when he first entered. And it doesn't help that there are multiple videos of him on the internet being very enthusiastic about how much he loves using that Johnson & Johnson when he's getting freaky in the bedroom. Now, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, well, Well, it's a bunch of very embarrassing videos from a segment Steve used to have on his TV show where he got surprisingly candid with his audience about what goes on in his personal life behind closed doors. He admitted to going through multiple bottles of baby oil whenever he's being intimate because of how much he enjoys the sensation. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that sounds a little too familiar given everything Diddy was accused of at those freak-offs. And if that wasn't enough, Steve actually had the nerve to refer to himself as a baby oil professional. But here's where it gets really interesting. He also mentioned preferring the oil to be warmed up before use. And who else has been specifically linked to using heated oil for those same purposes? Diddy.
It's just baby oil. All right. Praise the Lord, baby oil. Ever not include baby oil in your love life. You are missing one of the great inventions. Baby oil ain't really for babies. It just go with everything. You can get baby oil on pizza. I done got it on pizza before. You taste it, you can't even hardly taste it. All around my mouth before.
Your favorite. Good for you.
Steve then took it a step further to create a whole song talking about how oil is really for adults. And the crazy part is, he posted this video of the song on TikTok back in 2020.
Baby oil, baby oil, baby oil, baby oil. Baby oil ain't really for babies. Baby oil, baby oil.
Now, at the time, we all thought he was talking about straight people having fun, but with everything we know about these Hollywood parties, people are wondering if the oil he was going on and on about was also used during encounters with other men. Not only that, several celebrities have actually come out to tell us how common it is for these celebrities to be DL, especially the ones we least expect. In fact, Steve's longtime nemesis, Cat Williams, spoke about this all the way back in the 90s. At the time, he obviously didn't name drop anyone, but now folks are wondering if he was talking about Steve the entire time. Now, when it comes to Brandy, she has chosen to stay out of Steve's business for the most part. However, it's been speculated that she was shocked to hear about his freak-off escapades. It's unclear if she'll ever actually come out and speak on this directly, but knowing Brandy, that is highly unlikely. In the meantime, though, people had a lot to say, like this person who said, "Personally, I don't see Steve involved with Diddy that way." Another person said, "Steve has been making these kinds of jokes for years, even before he started hosting Family Feud. It's only recently, with the Diddy situation coming to light, that people have started revisiting those clips and interpreting them differently. Steve once shared a story about vacationing with Diddy, so it's possible he was aware of certain things. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about the rumors that Steve is DL? And do you really believe that this is why his first 2 marriages ended? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.